We know that we have not been able to organize ourselves to address the challenges that we face. And these are challenges that we face for decades now, but they keep on getting worse. We know what they are. Healthcare system that's broken, bankrupting families and bankrupting communities all across the country. And part of the reason we're not doing anything about it, we know, is because we've got drug companies, insurance companies, and HMOs giving $1 billion in campaign contributions and lobbyists in Washington. And people say, why is it that we've got a healthcare system that's run for those special interests instead of run for ordinary people all across America? We've got an education system that, despite the slogans, is leaving millions of children behind all across America, unable to compete in an international economy. We've got an economy that is doing very well for some. If you're a CEO of a big corporation and you've got stock options, you've never had it so good. But if you're an ordinary worker who hasn't seen your wages or your salary go up in years, and you're trying to figure out how to fill up your gas tank, how to save for your child's college education, how to save for your own retirement, things are pretty tough right now. We don't have an energy plan in this country, and so not only are we paying $3 and change at the gas station, but that money is going either to Exxon or some of the most hostile nations on earth. We're funding both sides of the war on terrorism, and in the bargain, we're melting the polar ice caps and fundamentally changing the climate of the planet. And we've got a war that should have never been authorized and should have never been waged. A war that's cost us billions of dollars and thousands of lives and has not made us more safe. It has diminished our standing in the world at a time when we read about Al-Qaeda stronger than it's been at any time since 2001, because we got distracted from the war that we should have been fighting in a war of our own choosing. And so, now that's before we even get to Scooter. So obviously people are frustrated with Washington, and they get a sense that Washington has been entirely captive for a few narrow interests and those with big money. And people feel cynical, and half of us don't even bother to vote. And half of us, when we do vote, we're voting against something instead of voting for somebody. And so the fact that people are coming out is good news, because it indicates that people have gotten fed up enough that they're ready to call for significant change in our country. But they don't want to just be against something. I think people are also coming out, and you're coming out, because you want to be for something. Because we want to affirm that we are all in it together, that we as Americans have the capacity to come together around a sense of common purpose, a sense of higher purpose, that we've got mutual responsibilities for each other, that are for their impoverished children in New Hampshire, then that impoverishes all of us. If there's a veteran who's homeless anywhere in the country, that diminishes our patriotism. It dishonors this country. That sense that we aren't on our own, that we have to pull together across lines of race and religion and even political affiliation in order to arrive at a common sense, practical, non-ideological agenda for change. That's part of the reason that people are coming out. Now, when I talk about that kind of vision for America, sometimes the Washington press corps gets kind of cynical. They think I sound naive. They say, oh, he's talking about hope again. You know? That's so naive. That's so... He doesn't, you know, people with experience don't talk about hope. He's a hope peddler. He's a hope monger. But I tell you why I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful partly because of you. I'm hopeful because as I travel around the country, I find that there's an enormous decency to the American people. Now, people want to do the right thing. And they get confused sometimes. Now they listen to the wrong talk radio show host. You know, mainly they're just busy. worrying about their families, paying the bills. They're not always paying attention to every aspect of public policy, but when you give them a chance to get involved and they take that chance, their instincts are good. And the second reason I'm hopeful is because we've been through tougher times before. Think about it. What we've been through: Revolutionary War, Civil War, 2 world wars, a Cold War, a Great Depression, slavery, segregation. We've been through enormous difficulties and challenges, and somehow we've worked through our divisions and we've met those challenges and we've come out more unified and more prosperous than we were before. There's no reason to think that we can't do that same thing now, that we can't meet the challenges of this generation and create a better America. I'm convinced that we can.